Today, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the new ETHS President and CEO, A. Warren Doctor, PhD. Warren.
Thank you very much, Jerome. And many thanks to all of you at home. I just want to start by saying it's great to be back home from several years abroad. And I just want to say a few words about what we're planning to do in the future. We've accomplished a whole lot in the last 3 months since I've been here, and I'm very excited about those accomplishments. And I also will ask you to bear with me because this is my first annual award meeting, and even though we're having to do this virtually, I also want to thank you for your patience in dealing with us this way because of the pandemic. We've had to do things. We're very much looking forward to getting back into person and doing this face to face. One of the things I want to stress to you all at home is that we're becoming very proactive here. One of the things that we're going to start doing is a new master plan for the museum, and we'll be working with you and getting your feedback on how best to promote and expand the museum that we have here. We are also, and this is something I'm very excited about, digitizing a lot of our assets so that the Journal of East Tennessee History, as well as Tennessee Ancestors, will be made available to people online, accessing our resources through our website. And that's another thing we're working on, is getting a new refurbished website up and going. And we're currently in talks right now with our partners at Tombras to make this a reality. We also are very excited about this summer opening up what we call History Headquarters, which is a new area in the museum for kids. So we're very excited that people will be able to come here as families and have an educational and enriching experience while they're having a little fun as well. We've also been hiring in new staff to help raise and promote the ETHS. So we plan on getting out into the region and coming and contacting you and touching base with all of our affiliates so that we can move forward as a regional society. And one of the things I'm also very excited about is I want to, with the help of the staff, develop a new lecture series called the Cheryl Bolin Henderson Lecture Series to celebrate the leadership and work that Cheryl has done with us. I'm going to hand back over now to Jerome. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Warren. It sounds like some exciting activities that are going to move us forward here in the coming year. You know, one of the key functions of the Society's annual meeting is the election of board members and officers. This year, as we did last year, the election was conducted virtually. On May 6, 2021, the membership received notice of the slate of officers and board members that were recommended for election by the Executive Committee to serve in the coming 2021 and 2022 year. Members were asked to send their vote into the ETHS office by May 19, 2021, and I'm happy to report that the following slate of officers and directors have been elected to serve this coming year by an approval vote of in excess of 95.7% of those who voted. The officers for 2021 and 2022 elected to a one-year term are: first term as chairman, Joe E. Thompson III, who's the managing principal for the Knoxville office of Raymond James. The first term as the vice president for Southeast Tennessee is Mari Nicely, an attorney from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and a noted author. Serving in the second term as vice chairman of the Knoxville area will be John Thurman, and the architect and principal with McCarty Wholesale McCarty here in Knoxville. Serving in the second term as vice president for Northeast Tennessee is Amy Jean King, an attorney from Greenville, Tennessee. And as treasurer in the coming year, it will be David Reynolds, the president of Home Federal Bank of Knoxville here. Also, as the third term secretary, in the third term, it will be Bonnie Narr with Friends of the Library in Knoxville, serving in that capacity. The current board members who were eligible for re-election to a second term include Chris Beal, an author and a community volunteer here in Knoxville; Cindy DeBusk, another well-known community volunteer in Knoxville; Carol Ross, a retired judge in McMinn County; John Sibley, the founder, president, and CEO of World Religions Knoxville; Greg Vidal, the founder and president of Morning Point Senior Living in Georgetown, Tennessee; and Eleanor Yoakum, the chairman of the board of First Century Bank in Tazewell, Tennessee. I want to acknowledge In addition to these new board members and returning board members and new officers, those outgoing board members as they rotate off the board after having served the maximum of 2 consecutive 3-year terms. Join me in thanking these folks for their service and commitment. The past chairman, Joe Emmert, the City of Knoxville representative, Tasha Harris, the past treasurer, George K. Schweitzer, PhD, and the past secretary, Kristen Williams. We thank each and every one of you for your dedicated service. We want to remember as well 2 former directors of ETHS who passed away this past year, Dr. Paul Bergeron and Linda Clausen, both of whom were involved with ETHS as board members and active volunteers for many, many years, and we certainly miss them. On behalf of the officers and board elected here today, thank you for the confidence and trust you have placed in them. It's been my pleasure and honor to have served as your chairman for these past 3 years, and I'm pleased now to introduce you to your new chairman, Joe Thompson. Joe?
Well, hello, everybody. It's an honor to be here, and I want to thank Jerome for the last 3 years and all his hard work. And let you know we're looking forward to the future. Warren and I have met several times. We've got a great plan, and I think the future is very bright for the museum. So that's really all I have to say in the spirit of time, but I'm looking forward to working with everyone on the board. I think we've got some great ideas, and hopefully it'll be a great next couple of years. So thank you, Jerome.
Thank you so much, Joe. We welcome your leadership and are excited to have you in this new role. We thank you and everyone who has participated in this meeting, and I can now at this time conclude the official business of the ETHS annual meeting, and Dr. Warren Doctor will introduce the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jerome. And thanks again to all of you that listened to the board meeting. Before he leaves, I just want to thank Jerome. Before he steps out the door, I just want to thank Jerome for all his good work and his leadership and guidance. We would have been lost without him. And I just want to give a thorough thanking to him from the bottom of all of our hearts here at the ETHS. He's been a wonderful chairman, and we're very excited to welcome in Joe as well. And we look forward to a new era with Joe coming in as well. So, and I would also like to personally thank, and on behalf of the ETHS, all of the officers who have had to rotate out and those who have left the board. And I want to thank you all for your service. And I would like to thank all of our members for being there for us, particularly again, through this very difficult time. Now, before we begin, I would like to introduce a video to you. This video we have made in honor of Cheryl Bolin Henderson, who is, of course, my predecessor. And I'm very, very conscious that I have some very serious big shoes to fill, and they're high-heeled shoes at that. So I have a pretty heavy mountain to climb here, and I just hope that I can be a good custodian in her stead. So without further ado, here's a video that we've put together about Cheryl Henderson's time here as director.
In the 17 years she served as executive director, Cheryl Bolin Henderson's passion for East Tennessee's past fueled remarkable growth for the East Tennessee Historical Society. While Cheryl has thrown grand parties for others, tonight we pay tribute to her accomplishments with a look at her own piece of history.
She's a very humble person, but she's very strong. She's in the way of steel magnolia, at least I found her to be. She has very strong ideas, and she had a vision for the place that I think she was able to carry forth.
With Strawberry Plains just a few miles away, modern life has come to Gobbler's Knob in Jefferson County, where Cheryl Henderson grew up. But Cheryl clearly sees the places and people that shaped her love of genealogy and the history of East Tennessee. This was family land from her great-grandfather, Joshua Bolin. Between her home and her grandparents was their large garden. Now someone else's place, her grandparents' home still stands, although much changed. Cheryl's young life in Gobbler's Knob also put her squarely among 10 great aunts and uncles born between the 1870s and the 1880s.
I think my Aunt Nori, she was my grandfather's sister. I think she taught me, she piqued my interest in cemeteries. We would walk through the cemetery. I begged to go to decoration day with them. I couldn't wait because she'd always tell me stories. And I realized after, going through the cemetery with her and all the stories, I realized these are real people. It was their lives that are buried here.
Cheryl was a young teen when a Strawberry Plains elder pointed her to the Mcclung collection. She learned that what fascinated her was called genealogy. While raising 2 children, Cheryl worked at J.C. Penney's in downtown Knoxville. But in her off hours, she was a regular at the Mcclung collection.
And she was one of the most interesting and interested history researchers I've ever met. She had good questions, and she was always following some very obscure piece of history down whatever rabbit hole she was going to go down.
Dr. Charles Bryan, ETHS's first professional director, knew Cheryl from her frequent visits to the library, and he was looking for a secretary.
And he knew that I knew her really well, so he asked me if I thought she would work out well. I said, she would be fantastic if you can get her.
And I thought, it's just like a manna from heaven. She was very smart, very good, and knew history.
She knew people out in the community better than I did, better than we did. And a lot of her contacts were built on her work in family history and genealogy.
I would argue that, in many respects, she was the heart and soul of the museum as well, because of that direct connection to the material culture of East Tennessee. And that was key, to making that experience meaningful. I mean, her sustained commitment to the work day in and day out, it's inspiring and it's awe-inspiring.
Cheryl's enthusiasm for helping people verify their ancestors and first families of Tennessee helped it grow from a small project to now more than 16,000 approved applications, uncovering more and more stories that are relevant to our region's history.
And this is part of Cheryl's genius, because I've never worked with anybody who understands that intersection between genealogy and history like Cheryl.
Dr. Kent Whitworth recalls when the small staff was racing around as hundreds of guests converged on them for a huge First Families reunion, and Cheryl saw the moment.
But we're just all going a million miles a minute in the office, and Cheryl just stopped. And so we all, reacted and stopped as well. And she said, listen, I hear our history. And I don't even know what musicians were outside the Custom House, but you could hear it. And, I get goosebumps as I tell that story. She never missed the moment. And that's what I think makes her such a gifted public history professional.
I love history, and I want to get more people interested in it. And this has been something you can give your whole heart to. And we do have a wonderful staff, and we've had a wonderful board of directors who've supported us through the years and who have helped to get us where we are.
While Cheryl has retired from ETHS, she is not leaving history behind.
I want to get into writing and tell the stories that I've researched and make those available to the public. I feel like I want to bring these people forward in their stories so that other people can see how people lived and understand what people went through.
Keep making history personal, Cheryl. History will thank you for it. And East Tennessee thanks you.
And I certainly wish you well. And job well done, my friend. And I'm glad I hired you.
Welcome back. I think that you will agree with me that that is a very good video that I think helps illustrate the importance of Cheryl's legacy here at the ETHS. I, for one, have had the privilege to read some of Cheryl's own writing and to just sort of listen to her. And she's such an amazing storyteller and is so inspirational. And it's very clear that nobody I've ever met knows this land the way she does. And so she has remained and will remain an inspiration to all of us and all the members of the ETHS. So I hope that you enjoyed that video. Now, without further ado, and the reason that many of us are here this afternoon is the awards for the East Tennessee Historical Society. So again, without further ado, we will begin the award ceremony now, introduced by the staff here at the ETHS.
My name is Lisa Oakley. I'm Curator of Education with the East Tennessee Historical Society, and I want to welcome you this afternoon for our awards presentation of 2019 awards winners. We're 2019 because last year's awards presentation we weren't able to carry out, but we're excited to do that for you this afternoon. 2020, 2021 awards have been going strong, we know, and so you will hear more towards the end of the year about nominating your projects for the 2020 and 2020-21 awards season. So now let's get on with our awards, and we're going to begin with the awards of distinction. Our first award of distinction is presented to the Greene County History Museum for their exhibit, Vintage Greenville, Pictures from the Past. Their exemplary efforts toward the reproduction of photographer Willie Brown's glass negatives raised a broader awareness of the significance of the region and have ensured this unique piece of history will be preserved for years to come. And next we have an award of distinction presented to the First Presbyterian Church in Knoxville for their outstanding work in the renovation and historic preservation of First Presbyterian Church's interior. Their efforts toward repair, revitalization, and maintenance of the integrity of the church ensures that this historic site will be appreciated for many generations to come. And our next award of distinction is presented to Brian Kyle for his outstanding efforts in organizing the J.L. Cook School Recognition Ceremony. This special event honored alumni, celebrated J.L. Cook School's rich heritage, and fostered meaningful community experiences.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Henry, and I'm the Executive Assistant with the East Tennessee Historical Society. I'll be continuing with the awards of distinction. The first award I'll be presenting is for Tyler Boyd for his book, Tennessee Statesman Harry T. Burn, Woman Suffrage, Free Elections, and a Life of Service. Tyler Boyd's passion for history and the accurate portrayal of Harry Burn's involvement in the ratification of the 19th Amendment are valuable contributions to our understanding of the era. This work dispels long-standing prevalent myths regarding Harry Burn and is an excellent work of scholarship. The next award of distinction will be presented to Michael Nance for his book, Blood on the Water, The History of the Clear Creek Community of Morgan County, Tennessee. Michael Nance's passion and commitment to chronicling a nuanced and accurate history of the Clear Creek community fostered a better regional understanding and appreciation, and this powerful book is an excellent reference work and piece of scholarship. The last award I'll be presenting is for Terry L. Futrell and Michael Nance. This award of distinction is for their book, Civil War Sourcebook, Morgan County, Tennessee. The comprehensive compilation of primary records provides a foundation for deep exploration of the Civil War as it affected Morgan County and offers a new understanding of the region's history and heritage.
Hello, my name is Courtney Beard, and I'm the Administrative and Curatorial Assistant for the East Tennessee Historical Society. I'll be continuing on with the awards of distinction, starting with Peter Merrill and Julian Bankston for their restoration efforts at the historic Rugby print shop. Their passion for the preservation of the history of printing, along with their countless volunteer hours and dedication to the success of historic Rugby, create personal, meaningful experiences for all visitors. Next, we have an award of distinction for the Jonesboro Genealogical Society for their Jonesboro Heritage Fair. The Jonesboro Genealogical Society's dedication to honoring the region's rich heritage and instilling a passion for history in the local youth is exemplary, and their enthusiasm for community involvement and education is a commendable and worthwhile endeavor. We have another award of distinction for the Jonesboro Genealogical Society for their bus tours of Washington County, which showcase hundreds of historical sites and sounds within the county and surrounding areas, demonstrating Jonesboro Genealogical Society's passion and commitment to the preservation of regional history. The last award of distinction that I'll be presenting is for Vicky Heinz for authoring State Standards Publishing My State Biographies on John Sevier, James Robertson, John Donaldson, and Nancy Ward, which makes information on these important figures accessible and engaging to elementary age children. Vicky Heinz's contributions promote literacy and nonfiction reading and are easily incorporated into lesson plans and reading lists. This series reflects on the lives of outstanding Tennesseans and encourages investment in historical endeavors for children.
My name is Tim Yates, and I am fortunate to serve as the manager of the museum shop and guest services here at the East Tennessee Historical Society, and I have the pleasure to present the awards for community history. Our first award goes to Stephen Broyles for his historic preservation efforts in Bayleton and Chuckey communities, including Bayleton Days. Steve Broyles' efforts to preserve and restore historical structures, his dedication to youth education and involvement, and his commitment to conservation set him apart as a community leader. Our second Community History Award is presented to the Mossy Creek Foundation for Mossy Creek Station renovations and continued work in historic downtown Mossy Creek. Their dedication to the ongoing revitalization of downtown Jefferson City has had a tremendously positive impact on the local community and ensures that the area's rich regional heritage is preserved for posterity. Our next Community History Award is presented to Tennesseans for Living History for their participation in annual historical events, ongoing interpretive education, and participation in local history projects. As one of the largest, most active reenactment groups in East Tennessee, their love for historical reenactment, preservation, and the education of future generations is unsurpassed.
Hi, I'm Hannah McElroy, the Director of Membership and Social Media here at the East Tennessee Historical Society. I'm presenting the History in the Media Award to the Jonesboro Genealogical Society for their weekly newspaper column, Digging for Your Roots, dedicated to genealogical education in Washington County. In its more than 30 years of publication, Digging for Your Roots has played a major role in the collection, indexing, and digitization of articles, queries, and genealogical news.
Hi, my name is Layla Smallwood. I'm the Education Program Manager for the East Tennessee Historical Society. Today, I'll be presenting the Lifetime Achievement Award to James Jim Schuler. For his tireless work to preserve and share the history of Sevier County, James Schuler's contributions to historic preservation, interpretation, literature, and education are commendable. Thanks to Jim's insatiable love for history and for his native land, Sevier County's past will live in the annals of history. The next award I'll be presenting is the Lifetime Achievement in Civil War History Award, presented to Joan Markle for her 29 years of service as the Civil War Curator for the Mcclung Museum of Natural History and Culture, her excellent scholarship and prolific writings and community involvement. Joan's commitment to education and conservation are unmatched and brought a new understanding of the region's involvement in the Civil War.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Piesheimer. I'm the Curator of Collections here at the East Tennessee Historical Society. The first award I'll be presenting is the Lifetime Achievement in Living History Award to Gerald Jerry Mustin for his participation in living history events and dedicated educational portrayal of a long hunter. Gerald Mustin's tireless commitment to the accurate depiction of Tennessee's history and his devotion to a community education and youth involvement are exemplary. The next award I'll be presenting is the Ramsay Award for Lifetime Achievement presented to Ted Olson for his extensive research, advocacy, and dedication to the preservation of local history. His initiative in coordinating community-based projects, as well as his years of experience teaching and encouraging youth involvement, set Ted Olson apart as not only an authority on Appalachian history, but as a community steward. His exemplary work on the Bristol Sessions and Johnson City Sessions garnered national and international prestige and brought much needed attention to the rich musical history and traditions of East Tennessee.
Hello, my name is Adam Alfrey. I'm the Assistant Director for Historical Services here at the East Tennessee History Center, and it's my pleasure to present this year's Mcclung Award, which is for the best article in the Journal of East Tennessee History. And this year's award is presented to David J. Gerlman for his article, Attuned to the Past, the Civil War Legacies of the Parton Brothers of Sevier County, Tennessee.
I would also like to just give a huge congratulations to all the award winners of the 2019 East Tennessee Historical Society Awards of Excellence, and especially those who won the Lifetime Achievement Award. What you've done for us in our history in the region is remarkable. And we just want you to know that we will continue to keep paying tribute to you. Also, I'm very excited to get out now that we're hopefully getting through this pandemic, to get out and meet all of you. I'm really excited about getting out and getting in touch with all of our affiliates and members. And I just can't wait to get out into the region. Being from Granger County myself, I'm excited about getting back out into the country. I want to also, as we're concluding the annual meeting in the 2019 award ceremony, I just want to thank all the members. What we do would be completely impossible without your encouragement, support, and continuing contributions. So we're very, very excited. And I want to say a very humble thank you. Thank you for watching this and listening. And to conclude this year's annual meeting, there will be a video that talks a little bit more about what we'll be doing in the future. And it also thanks Jerome and Cheryl for their years of service and their guidance. So without further ado, I will conclude this year's award ceremony with the hint that there will be a two for one next year and in person. And without further ado, the video. Thank you so much. As we congratulate our award winners, we would like to highlight and reflect on some of the work that we've been doing here at the ETHS. We know it has been a strange couple of years. The pandemic has made it very difficult to engage with our membership, but we've also learned a lot along the way. We tried to use this as an opportunity to go online and reach out to the community using social media and YouTube videos. We've done virtual visits to historic homes and sites around the region and hosted virtual tours for schools of our signature exhibition, Voices of the Land. We also accomplished a whole lot. We were able to publish Newsline and get our brown bag lectures up and running again. They can be attended on Zoom, but we hope by July they will be hybrid events, which can be both attended online and in person. That way, if you can't make it in for the lecture, you can watch it later at home. In fact, we have one coming up on June 2nd with Tate Green, who will speak on how he came to love history. And later in June, Dr. Carol Busey will be giving us a talk, which will launch our virtual exhibit, Suffrage Showdown, Tennessee's Pivotal Role in Votes for Women. I'm also delighted to report we won 5 awards of excellence for our work on the museum from the Tennessee Association of Museums, including Emerging Museum Professional for East Tennessee, which our own Hannah McElroy won. There are big changes afoot for the museum. We are opening a children's gallery this summer. We call it History HQ, and it offers the best hands-on interactive educational experience for families that come to the History Center. But more importantly, it's just plain fun. We are looking at beginning master planning to update and improve our signature exhibition, Voices of the Land, and we'd like to get your feedback. We are also excited to announce our new exhibit, Schaefer, an Artist of Rare Merit, which traces East Tennessee's premier portrait artist, Samuel M. Schaefer, through 19 portraits held by the East Tennessee Historical Society and the Mcclung Historical Collection. It is a fun and interactive exhibit with a section that lets you strike a pose in a faux Schaefer painting to see what it was like to sit for a portrait. The exhibit also brings Schaefer's portraits and other historical images to life by using technology. We have been looking at ways to update our website. We aim to make a fully interactive virtual experience where you would be able to attend numerous virtual exhibits. This way, we will be able to ensure members get an enriching experience whether you're here in person or online. A part of the website I am particularly excited about has been made possible by a bequest from the estate of Dr. Paul Bergeron. Dr. Bergeron was a professor of Tennessee history at the University of Tennessee and an avid supporter of the East Tennessee Historical Society. His estate has provided funds that will allow us to digitize the Journal of East Tennessee History, so we can showcase to the scholarly community the great work that Aaron Purcell has been doing with the journal. This project will include digital copies going all the way back to the journal's founding in 1929. This gift will also provide funds for the Paul Bergeron internship. This intern will be selected from a UT History Department students, receive a small stipend, and will facilitate the digitization of the journal. We also plan to digitize Tennessee ancestors and make some of our genealogical databases available online to members. We are also working with a planning committee in Nashville to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. This will highlight the important role East Tennessee played in creating our country. We want to take this moment to thank you. Our members know how important it is to preserve and promote the history of East Tennessee. So we want to thank you for your continuing support of the ETHS. We want to thank you for your patience with us during this past year, and we want to thank you for keeping history alive. Without your hard work, your support, and encouragement and contributions, none of this would be possible. Next year, we hope we can do this in person and even sneak in the awards for 2020 and 2021. It will be an ETHS Awards Gala for the ages. So, on behalf of the ETHS, I would like to congratulate our award winners. I would like to thank Cheryl for her years of service, and I would like to thank Jerome for his leadership and guidance. Finally, I would like to thank you. Thank you for watching us.